In today's tank review, we'll be reviewing the recently heavily nerfed OI-Experimental. So let's get into the tank itself. With 360 average damage per shot and 60 average penetration, the armor piercing rounds on this tank are absolute crap. Yeah, anti-submarine APHE? No. You either fire heat with its 140mm of penetration, or high explosive, because it has the same penetration as the standard ammunition, but with a higher average damage between 330 and 550, so average of 440? Not too sure about that. There's a range of guns. Well, I don't want to purchase the gun, but you've got the 7.5cm tank gun type 5 with its average penetration of 124, 155 or 38, and its average damage is 125 for standard and premium ammunition and 175 for high explosive ammunition. This gun is not particularly good and doesn't deal the damage that is needed to finish off tanks. This gun, complete crap. Don't bother. Do not bother. The gun that you really want is this one. It's an extremely inaccurate but derpy gun. Ever since they removed the top gun from this, I think that was a long barrel 7.5cm. I'm not too sure about that, but it had decent penetration, decent damage. The gun was good for the tank, and the tank was good for the gun. But they removed it. Why? Because it was believed to be too good, and then they changed it for this little thing. So my rate of fire is 6.62 rounds a minute. Not bad and not good. So so its reload time 9.06 seconds. Turret traverse 20.86 degrees. Could be better, could be worse. Its aiming time, and gun depression and elevation is quite good, but the aiming time and dispersion are crap. You'll see that in the videos that are coming up. DPM 2384. The only thing that gun is really good at shooting at is low armoured targets that have got 300 hit points. What? T67. This thing likes one-shotting T67s. Hit point 70. This is where this tank comes into its own. Its survivability 700. At tier 5, 125mm of armour is rather good, and some of the sloping on that armour is even better. With 70mm at the side, 70mm at the rear, the turret, 125 at the front, 75 at the side, 75 at the rear. They did change the armour on this tank slightly because it used to have very thick rear armour and nobody could penetrate it properly, so they changed that. Its mobility is its weakest feature. 101 tons, so if anything rams you, you haven't got a problem. 1200 horsepower engine, 11.87 power per ton. This used to have a top speed of 40, and now they reduce its top speed to 25, and you can't get anywhere. They've nerfed this thing to the point, its speed anyway, to the point where you don't want to play it. It's just too slow. Concealment, never part of this tank. You don't sit and spot in this tank. View range 372, signal range 536. Garbage. But what do you expect on a tier 5 tank? The crew is 6, and my crew are not too badly trained, so yeah, this tank is quite simple. Crap. And I'll say crap, and I'll quite happily argue with people about it being crap. But the older OI-Experimental was not crap. This is crap. I mean, they've buffed its frontal armour. Yes, that's fine. But they've nerfed so many aspects that made this tank brilliant at its tier. I mean, you may be thinking, oh, but you got 3 marks on the gun barrel, you must like it. 2 of those marks I got on the older, with the older gun and the older speed. The 3rd mark I managed to get on this, I don't know how. But anyway, things I take into battle. Enhanced gun laying drive to try and reduce that god-awful, well, aiming time. Without that, I'm not going to work it out. There's people in the comments that will see that and will easily work it out. I'm thick. Gun rammer, definitely, to reduce the reload time. And a super heavy spore liner. I take that because I get fed up of Arty using this as a whipping rod. Weak spots. On the front there isn't particularly many, although the hats on these, the little cupolas on these mini turrets, I think can technically be classed as weak spots. I normally aim for them and they normally get through. At the rear, again, that. So the crew, I've got Sixth Sense and Jack of all trades on him because there's such a huge crew. If one of them dies, you're going to want somebody to take over their position. So that's my commander. On my spotter. Is that my spotter? Gunner. Oh shit, I'm an idiot. So on my gunner, I've got Snapshot and is that Deadeye? I think so. On my driver, I can't tell what that is, an off-road driving. Clutch braking and off-road driving. Okay, this was when I was a complete donkey. On the radio operator, I have situational awareness and signal boosting to try and get the awful view range, signal range up. Sorry, not view range. The second radio operator, I've got situational awareness again and relaying. And on my loader, I have adrenaline rush and safe stowage. Safe stowage is always handy, especially towards the end of the game if your ammo rack is bust. I also pack the usual large repair kit, first aid kit, and automatic fire extinguisher. So, it's enough theory crafting. Let's get into a game. And hopefully we'll see the strengths and weaknesses of this machine. And it's a lovely map for this tank. Sand River! The ultimate heavy tank map. Especially with the aim on this thing. Anyway, let's get the screenshot for today's video. There we go. So, tier 7. There are some lightly armoured tanks. I mean, you've got the Toaster on the enemy team. The Wolverine, the Arty. Well, it's 3 Arty. Oh, great. There's a Burt. I mean, just look at the speed of this thing. It's not pleasant to drive. So we're heading up for to the corner where heavy tanks like to go on this. I can't tell if that was our arty firing or their arty firing. I think it was our arty. What the fuck is he doing? T1 Heavy's firing randomly and I've been spotted because this tank is so large. Oh bloody hell. Can I see the span panzer? Oh, I can, but he's not staying still. And look at that aiming circle. It's bloody huge. Speaking of bloody huge, this is one of the most obvious targets on the battlefield. It's bigger than any tank on this battlefield, apart from the other OI-EXP. Is there anything we can shoot at? Oh yeah, there is. KV-1S. But shell velocity let me down, and that M44 is probably going to be the death of me. Full bloody back! I know to full back, you bloody barn pop. But first, I've got to repair me track. This is the problem with this thing. Everyone treats it as a large target they can just hit for days, and it's not enjoyable. It's not enjoyable for me as a World of Tanks player. Oh great, I've been spotted again. Any second now. Boom! There goes more of my health. It's just an easy target to hit. That's why people go for it. Because it's so big. If it wasn't so big, it might actually have a chance of withstanding arty fire. Especially, well, tier 6 arty fire. So basically I'm trapped here. If I go forward I get spotted, arty hits me. Oh. I mean, look at that. It's quite simply rubbish. And no, it didn't hit the KV-1S either, despite the fact the aiming circle was full, well, I was fully aimed. Wonder if Artie's going to come for me again. I haven't got a shot on the T-37, but even so, it takes about 5 seconds for the shell to get there. I mean, camping is not what this tank does. It's not a good camping tank. But on Sand River, what else do? You go over on the right flank, where the Tiger 1 is. You just get shot by tank destroyers. You stay on this left flank, you get hit by artillery or tank destroyers, because of how open the nature of this map is. And I know that if I get spotted now, I'm dead. Is that flak bus sitting up there? Oh, okay. Well, he's dead anyway. It's 8-2. Bloody hell. We're starting to demolish the team. Oh, for crying out loud. Here comes Artie because I've been spotted. Guarantee it. Any second. Boom. Battle over. Oh, come on! Bloody hell! It's so frustrating playing this. You can't hit anything! Finally a hit on something. Well, he's dead. 127 damage. And their arty's still making me their bitch. Perhaps not for much longer, I hope. Oh, for God's sake. That M44 nearly got himself a Bombardier medal then. I mean, there's no point me even pushing onto, well, to where they are, because I won't be able to catch them. Basically, Wargaming have taken a tank that was good and completely ruined it. They've 100% killed this tank. I can't even challenge that T-34. I mean, the team have pretty much killed him anyway, but still. I mean, I was just sat on that corner there being hit by artillery. I've only done 127 damage. I mean, you've seen how bad the accuracy is, and the shell velocity is awful. I mean, it gets to a point. 34 grand! Managed to get a mastery badge 3rd class for doing that damage. Just shows you how pants this tank is. Let's go again. Hopefully it'll be a closer range map. No. And there's big arty too. And I've got to drive to the corner to where the heavy tanks go. I mean, what can I say about this tank? There are certain tanks that I understand needed to be nerfed. This did need to be nerfed, but the way they've done it, it wasn't needed the way they did it. I mean, a howitzer, yes, it would be a good idea on this tank because there's one on the OI. Well, sorry, the OI. But the howitzer they've put on this is crap. I mean, at least the OI can actually hit the target it aims at. I mean, I'm used to tanks that have got a decent shell velocity. This hasn't. I don't actually know what the shell velocity is on this. That'd be quite interesting to know. And I've been spotted already. Oh, good lord. Because I'm such a big target. I mean, at least I bounced the Type 34. But it's just annoying being spotted. I mean, there could have been TDs up there, like the ISU, and taken 400 hit points from me. Anyway, a lot of our tanks have come up here. Now, this is amazing. The tank destroyers, only one of them is staying at the base. The TOG, well, I can sort of guess why the TOG's staying there. It's a TOG, it can't move. Why is the IKV and the Stug come up here? Oh, boggles the mind beyond belief sometimes, this game. So we're pushing up here, and no doubt we are going to encounter some tanks, but I've got a feeling that we're going to be missing a lot of shells again. Any help, retards? See? Another problem. Asshole. Look, can we get a shot into the Type 64? Because we'll kill it. And, right, the first of what's probably going to be many arty shells coming to try and hit me. Type 64 reverses. Sensible idea. I bounce the Type 64. That is the only thing that this tank's got going for it, is its armour. This tier is really good. Well, I can say really good. Tank destroyers might give you a bit of a problem, but still. Our IKV just died. Let's see what trouble we can get in around here. Oh, hang on, that's armor... Christ. It was premium ammunition rather than the high explosive. That's annoying. Oh, Jesus. Through the lower plate. And that's most of my health gone in 2 shots. $92 damage. Ooh. That's a bit more like it. That T-61, what the hell was he doing? Oh, he's firing high explosive too. He probably thinks that I'm firing high explosive out of choice. No. If you don't fire high explosive in this, you don't do any damage. Oh, great, we're being capped. Chinu is using me as a shield. And there we are, dead. How bloody pathetic was that? Bloody hell, Tog's made it a fair distance. Well, we actually look like we may win. Well, I say that. May win, that's... Chinu Kai. No. Can't bear to watch that anymore. We'll have a third game in a minute, but... What, I mean... just, It's a tank like that. Ugh. I mean, if you look at the Japan... Oh, actually, I'm already on the Japanese line. You look at the Japanese heavy tank line. It starts off with the Igo Chiro, then the Type 91, a Tier 3 heavy tank. It's not very good. The Tier 4 version, the Type 95, again, not very good. The OI Experimental used to be good. Now it's not. The Tier 6 OI, the OI Experimental. The Tier 6 OI, good. It's a good tank. It's basically the Japanese KV-2 with more armour. The Oni, an extremely good tank. It's a very, very good tank. The Oho, bit slow, but also very, very good tank. The Type 4, decent frontal armour. If you get flanked, you've had it, but that gun is rather good. Type 5, very, very good tank, very, very good armour. So, on this tech tree, these 3... You just want to get through. Well, actually, no. These 4. You just want to get straight through them. You don't want to have. You don't want to have to put up with the OI-EXP. It's not. It's not a fun tank to play in. I certainly don't enjoy playing in it anymore because it's just. It's a huge struggle. But I don't know. I don't know whether it's worth it to get to the OI or whether you just want to free experience your way through this tank. I don't know. I don't know. Because the howitzer on the OI, well, the OI, is 0.56 accuracy. It doesn't feel like it, and also the shell velocity. It feels quicker. So it's a better tank overall. I mean, this thing has got ridiculous armour for its tier. But there's no... I don't even know if the armour's a consolation in the experimental. You've just seen there in that battle, the T-34-85M and the T-150 were able to make mincemeat at the front of my tank. So again, it's unsure. Well, unsure about its armour, yeah. Sure about the tank? Don't get it. Just don't get the experimental. It's not worth it. I mean, the stubby gun is... Well, I wouldn't even say it's not even a good gun, but none of the guns are good. None of those guns are really guns that you wake up in the morning and go, ha, I have that gun, I have the 12cm howitzer on the experimental. Yes. Makes you feel really, really good. Because it doesn't. It really doesn't make you feel good. Anyway, you know what, I can't be bothered to play this pile of garbage again. I mean, no doubt there'll be people who have had very good battles in it in its current state, but I certainly haven't, and I'm certainly considering selling this tank. Anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.